Hi everyone, it's Tuesday again, so it means I do another one of these videos. It's the 30th of October, and we're going to try and have a fresh start because my painting of late has been quite lax. It's what, 20 to 4 now, so I'm going to go to about 20 to 5, hopefully. I normally do a quick sweep of what I've got on my desk. This is all stuff that I've just put down. We've got 5 Black Knights for my undead. Again, I'm going back to my whole hobby butterfly thing. I've got loads of different stuff. I've got 3 Gene Stealers, 2 Hormigants. These are the only undercoated Tyraniid models that I actually have left in my collection, which I've got loads of unpainted stuff, but I'll get back to them. I've got a random wizard model which I probably got about 15 years ago from somewhere, but I can't remember where. It's not Games Workshop, it's something different. I've got a Skink Priest for my Silver Tower set, which might be a bit of a challenge to paint. I've got 5 Blood Angel Intercessor Marines. Now these are already part done, like the Sergeant has got highlights on him, black shoulders and whatever. I'm going to start again with them, so they're going to get a new coat of Mephiston Red, and then I'm going to start work on them again. We've even got the Ancient, the Blood Angels Primaris Ancient as well, and we've got the Captain in Gravis armour with his backpack off. And then we've got something a little bit different. I've got a Necron Spider on my desk as well. Scroogly goobly. It's something I started earlier in the year. I'll probably get back to. This is he used to be called a Doom Ball. He's a Minotaur. I've taken him off his base because he was on an old Fantasy Square base. Like, don't do these anymore. So I've got to get him a new base for him, but I felt like painting him, so I was like, yeah, why not give it a go. I've still got my 3 Knights, of which I've repaired the Battle Cannon one, so that's good. I've got my Warlord Titan, which is right there, still sitting there staring at me, but we'll get to him. And then we've got some non-Games Workshop stuff. Now, I promised myself that I was going to paint some non-Games Workshop models, and these are going to be it. It's my Children of December Malifaux crew. We got Rasputina herself, who's the caster, which you probably can't see because the lighting's a bit off, but you might see her in pictures eventually. We got 3 Ice Gamin, who are basically just her summoned minions. They're a bit weak. They just do a little bit here and there. And then we got an Ice Golem. Now this guy's pretty big. This dude. Now I started work on him a while ago, and obviously, as you can see, I got fed up and I didn't finish him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the base coat, because it's quite thin layers, so it's not a problem. All of these Malifaux guys are going to be back to the base coat and start again, because I can't remember where I was with them and I can't remember the paint scheme. But for now, I've got another guy to go with that crew as well, but he's actually in bits. It's the Wendigo. It's like this little monster, and he's on one of the I can't forget what they're called. He's like a sheriff sort of guy. He's kind of biting his throttling him and gonna bite him. But he's kind of broke, so I've got to fix that later. But I fixed the Gene Stealers already. They had some arms off. So there we go. And we're going to make a start on the Blood Angels, I believe, because I've come up with a new way that I want to paint my Blood Angels now. So let's get cracking. We need Mephiston Red. I don't know if I've got a lot in here, but I know I've got spare Mephiston Reds. Unfortunately not there. They're in my box there. But I might have enough in here to see me through anyway. It doesn't feel like it, to be honest. No, I'm not. Okay, but I'm going to make a start anyway. So, as usual, I talk about my week. I'm very aware that this is my 50th video. So I've got 2 more before I get to the year. And once I hit the year, I'm going to do a little bit of a go through and basically say how far I've come, because this all started out, these videos started out with me talking about how I was fighting my depression and my anxiety. I've got more confident as I've done these videos, so I'm not saying it's not a thing anymore. It's still a thing, it's still there, but I'm doing okay. This week's been a bit bad. I mean, I worked, which was work, forced to work extra hours, which I didn't like, but what can I do? So my nan's been ill. She's been in and out of hospital the last few days, and also my niece had a fall and broke her arm. She's only 4, so she's it's her first experience of like that sort of a pain, but I suppose it's, in a way, it's good to get out of the way early. I'm not saying it's a good thing she broke her arm, but speaking from someone else who has broken an arm, I think I was about 8 or 9 when I broke mine, and I broke it twice in the space of a year. So it's I know it's not nice from what I can remember of it, but you know, accidents happen. But yeah, I mean, I've just recorded a little bit for my Reaver Titan blog. Basically, I haven't worked on my Reaver Titan this week. I did a little bit on Tuesday, which was sorting out the crew, and a few other little bits, not a lot. And basically that was about it. It was the clip that I did was about that I did last Tuesday, was only about 10 minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes or so, and it's because I've had other things going on. Like I said last week, I was looking after my nephews, so it didn't really allow time for me to be working on my Titan, because they wanted to play PlayStation, play Call of Duty, and as much as it's not my thing, that my go-to thing to help me relax and chill out and whatever, I did just looking after him, so it's fine. So yeah, so that's why my hobby time has been quite limited the past week or so. I'm hoping to get back on it now, which I am, because I'm painting and I want to paint again. So I kind of decided to write off October, really. Yeah, I hit my target for the 201 models, and I've painted bits and pieces of other things, but nothing major. But that's okay. I mean, sometimes you need a little bit of a break, and that's fine. I mean, I pushed myself to get over the 200 target. I really forced myself to do it this month. So having a little bit of a break from the painting was probably good for me. And like today I woke up and I was just like really eager to get painting again. So I am. And I'm back to painting Blood Angels, which I've kind of neglected a lot this year. I don't think I've played any games with... Oh, I have played games with them. Not a lot, but I have played some. I know my first game of the year was with my Blood Angels, which went very badly because it was the Space Marine Elder game that we played at the club. It didn't go well for me at all because I faced like against 3 armies, so, but that's fine. But yeah, I played 2 games of Blood Bowl at the club last night. One of which was just a muckabout friendly. The second game was the semi-finals of our Blood Bowl Cup, and unbelievably I actually won the game, so I'm in the final. which is a bit weird considering that I'm the tournament organiser, but it's not like I've cheated or anything, so it'll be fine. And basically it's winding down, Blood Bowl's winding down a bit now, which is fine. We're starting to look at Titanicus. We've got a Heresy campaign starting to run next week, which will be cool. Gives me lots of opponents to try new army builds out against, because I've got some stuff for my Heresy army that I've had for a while now and I've not used yet, so like my Predators and stuff like that, so it should be cool. And unfortunately the weather's now turned. It's considerably colder, although I've still got my window open, as you might have been able to hear a little while ago by the noise outside. Basically it's not spray paint weather now, so I'm just going to be kind of struggling on painting wise with what I've got painted, what I've got undercoated, which is quite a lot. I mean, it's not saying that I'm limited to what I've got or anything like that. I've got plenty of stuff undercoated ready to be painted, so hoping to continue painting all through the holiday season, shall we say, Christmas and New Year, but we'll see. I've got to say, I mean, World of Warcraft has definitely distracted me a lot, and maybe it was what I needed for a little while, because my painting just wasn't really going anywhere. So maybe it was a good thing, but now I need to stop playing World of Warcraft because I want to paint again. So I'm going to cancel my subscription. It does mean I've already paid for the next month, so it does mean I've got another 30 days to play, but I'm going to limit myself to only after dark hours and when I'm like a few of my work days. Don't want to do too much of it. Because basically when I want to paint, I'm either recording a video or I'm listening to music, and when it gets dark I can't really listen to my music because it's quite loud. So, and I don't record because my parents are in the next room, so yeah, I think that'll be the best thing. Once they go to bed I can decide if I'm going to carry on painting or play a bit of Warcraft. It's not a bad thing having more than one hobby. I mean, I've got a lot more than one hobby, because I love my football, I love my Formula 1, I paint, obviously, paint my wargaming stuff, and play World of Warcraft. So it was funny, my nephew, before he came over last week, he sent me a message on PlayStation Network. He asked me if I've got Fortnite yet, because he's that age where Fortnite is a big thing. And then he sent me a voice message. I was like, okay. But bear in mind, he might have sent me this like a week ago, but I don't go on my PlayStation very much. So I listened to the voice message, and it was just a continuation from the message he'd sent, like the text message. It was basically, he said, because if you have got Fortnite, I can teach you how to get really good, because he reckoned he was a semi-pro. It did make me laugh. Like, you'd be a semi-pro at Fortnite, really, but it's fine. It did make me laugh. I know there's people out there who do make a living from broadcasting their games and stuff like that, but you don't make that much of a living on it. You look at mini wargaming. I know computer gaming is different from wargaming and stuff, but you know, and mini wargaming consistently say that they're not, like, they make money but they don't make like millions sort of thing. So you know, it's you never know, in the future the whole thing with like Twitch streaming could be more important than watching EastEnders or Coronation Street or whatever. To be honest, it's more important to me than watching them now anyway. But you know, I'm not really a soap fan, so yeah, so I'm getting on with these Blood Angels. They're coming on fairly well. It's just putting base coats back on them, covering up. All I've done on most of them was a bit of recess shading. My plan with these now, I'm nearly out of the Mephiston Red, is to totally paint them Evil Sun Scarlet, like exactly the same way as I'm painting the base coats on these now, which is Mephiston Red. So go over again Evil Sun Scarlet, and then recess shade, and then edge highlight. It's the same way that I painted the repulsor for my friend. I think it works fairly well for Blood Angels. Obviously they'll have more black on them for the shoulder pads, and I do like a white for their chest eagles, but I might do black, I don't know. And I've got to start thinking about painting the Blood Angels insignia on the shoulder pads, but that's for another time. So that's 4 that I managed to get done with that batch of paint. So I'm just going to need a little bit more. Now my base coat brush is pretty much knackered. You could probably do with a clean, but I may buy a new one, to be honest. But having gone back to work, I qualify myself as full-time now. I'm working 3 days a week, but I work 36 hours in them 3 days. So for me, that's full-time. I'm happy with that. I'm fine with that. I know they want me to do an extra day, but I don't want to do an extra day. So we'll see how that goes after Christmas. And just going back to this doing the last one with the layer of Mephiston Red. I got very discouraged when I was painting these before, because they weren't coming out how my Blood Angels normally do. Because I was using the newer paints rather than my old paint scheme on these. And I'm gonna continue using the new paints, because at some point I'm gonna run out of all my old paints, so I'm not gonna be able to paint Blood Angels like that anymore. I shouldn't have enough to finish my third company off, but that's going to be about it. And I think I'm over halfway with painting them. So I should get back to them at some point, my standard Space Range, but it's when the mood grabs me, I suppose. There's something quite easy about doing base coats with a brush. It's just, you don't have to worry about detailing. All you've really got to worry about is not to lay it on too thick, which is not a problem with the amount of watering down that I do. And it's just brushing on. It's quite easy. Like I said, my base coat brush, the brush I'm using here, is not at its best, as you can probably see from that, but it doesn't matter. When you're base coating, it doesn't matter too much. And this doesn't get used for anything other than base coating now, so I believe I've got actually another one there, so So these two, the Captain and the Ancient, I actually haven't started, so they don't need a new coat of red. Okay. Right, so I'm going to clean the palette, and we're going to go straight to the Evil Sun Scarlet and start that. Right, so Evil Sun Scarlet, that one. This should, I know I've got a lot of this, but that's not a problem. I think most of this video today is going to be focused on these Blood Angels. I'm in the mood to paint them. I don't know why. So, like these guys are from the Dark Imperium set, which is nearly a year and a half old now. And I put a lot of effort into building them. I cleaned them up thoroughly. Drilled out the bottle barrels, so they've all got holes in the barrels of their guns. Put a lot of effort into it, and I kind of sprayed them and put them in a case. So I've really got to stop doing that, because I'm doing it too much. It's building up a lot. So, but of course my backlog is going to continue building because Games Workshop keep releasing new models. And we just got the first preview of Blackstone, which is the new Warhammer Quest game set in 40k, which I won't be able to resist that. I will be buying that as soon as it comes out. So yeah, I'll have another 100 odd models on my case to build and paint. I mean, I've still got Shallows over Hammerhall, which is the kind of second Warhammer Quest, but those models are just like models from other Games Workshop kits, and they don't really grab me as interesting as the purpose-built kits that you got from Silver Tower. So I'm hoping that Blackstone will be more like that and less like, oh, here's a generic unit of 10 orc boys from the box set, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. So I'm hoping that's going to be the case, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, apparently it's going on pre-order this weekend, but we'll see. Something that went on pre-order last weekend was the new Gotrek audiobook with Brian Blessed voicing it, which is like, Gotrek is basically he's a old troll slayer from the old fantasy world, and he was given a documentarist called Felix to document how Gotrek died, because he was the most famous troll slayer, but he was the least successful because he was that good he never died, until the old world exploded or disappeared or whatever it did, and then he died. So, and now he's come back, and he apparently thinks Felix is a Stormcast, so he's hunting for Felix because he thought Felix was one of the great characters from fantasy. So it should be quite good. I'll probably get that next week. Nice audiobook. So I've been listening to a few audiobooks of late. I've got Audible off Amazon, and every month they give you a free book. So I've been listening to the Horus Heresy books. So I started with the original trilogy, which is Horus Rising, False Gods, and then Galaxy in Flames. I'm on Galaxy in Flames now, and I've nearly finished it. So that's been cool. I've been listening to it while playing Warcraft, so I'll probably be listening to it while I paint later on, but we'll see. So the Heresy campaign at the club, I've played Heresy on and off this past year, not really dedicating myself to playing any particular game. I know for the past 2 months it seems like I've played a lot of Blood Bowl, but I've been playing other things as well. I had people ask me about how I remember the rules for all these games. The thing is, I keep myself active, so my memory's fairly good. I mean, I'm the same when it comes to work. People ask me how I remember the freight that I put away and that kind of thing. I'm just like, it's just memory. My memory's quite good. In other things, my memory's crap. I mean, remembering people's names, I'm terrible. But you know, you can't do everything. So you know. But I've always had a head for air freight. It's certain things stick out in my mind, and I remember it quite well. So, but I kind of made the decision on that. I've just passed my level D again, which is the SI pass you need to work airside, obviously. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last one I want to do, level D. So I've got myself 2 years to kind of find something else. Whether it be me diving into video editing, which I seem to quite enjoy, I don't know, but we'll see. I'd like to do something different. I mean, I've been a warehouseman for nearly 20 years now, and speaking to my granddad, and he was like, "Oh, I done my job for 35 years and blah blah blah," and doesn't seem to understand, but it's fine. What can you do? But I would like to get out and do something else, because quite frankly, I've had enough of it. So, and it's every now and then it's good to challenge yourself, do something different, you know. I mean, I can carry on doing the agency work to tide me over. I would prefer to be full time at a company, to be quite honest, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes at where I am now, because they seem to like me, so you never know. Job might come up. Did make me laugh that the supervisor was talking to one of the other agency guys who quite obviously had not been in the country for very long. He was asking the supervisor if there's any job vacancies, or full-time jobs. And the supervisor was just saying, well, their pay varies, it depending on your experience, and I don't think he would get very high pay. Very much inexperienced at doing the job, but wondering how much they would pay me. But anyway. Supposed to be relaxing and chilling and not thinking about work, so I'm not going to think about work. I didn't need to really go for a long walk on Sunday, because we were so busy Sunday night at work that I actually done my 10,000 steps anyway, so I didn't have to go for a walk. I did anyway. I went up the shop because with it being Sunday, I treat myself to a couple of bottles of cider, as I normally do on a Sunday. And to be quite honest, on a Tuesday and Wednesday as well now too, because it's it's nice being off work for 4 days. Like, the Sunday is my day of winding down and recovery and all that thing. And people might say, well, you only work 3 days, why do you need to recover for? But warehousing is a hard job. It's very physical. Not to mention it was freezing cold on the weekend. The temperatures dropped quite a lot, so yeah, it was recovery day. But I actually done a lot. I tidied my room. It needed it. I made the decision to throw out a load of stuff, so I've got space to do things at the moment. So yeah, it's been fine. Just getting on this third one. This fourth one. Fourth Tactical Marine, giving him his layer of Evil Sun Scarlet. Now yeah, this is basically, when I painted the repulsor, I actually quite liked the red that it came out, and I was like, well, that's not far, that's pretty much Blood Angel red, so I thought I'd give it a go. I mean, I've got enough Primaris Marines to field a full Blood Angel Primaris army now. Most of it isn't built, and it will get built eventually. What I'm hoping to do is New Year's Eve, because I don't generally go out New Year's Eve. I'm not a big party person, as I've said before, probably. I might do a live stream of me sitting here and building Space Marines. Hoping to get some other people from my club interested in doing the same thing. Stuff they've been putting off, to just sit here New Year's Eve and get it done. Again, it may go up on Facebook, YouTube, but who knows. Because I know they do like the hangout things, which I have no idea how they work. I'm pretty sure I can't use my video camera for doing it, so I'd have to get some kind of webcam. But that's fine. And the discussion may get a bit funny, because when we've been sitting and building and painting and stuff in Games Workshop before, the conversation does get a bit weird, but it will be fine. So that's number 4. I've run out of Evil Sun Scarlet, so I'm going to have to refill that palette. And this is almost speed painting for me. I mean, I don't normally paint at this rate. Obviously once I get to detailing it will slow down, but I'm going quite quick. It's quite good for me. I suppose I could actually do the Captain and Gravis armor and the Ancient at the same time as well. So I might do that. So we're going to grab Mr. number 5, and we're just going to work on him the same way. And it's good when you're doing this kind of layering, you can water the paint down fairly far, because where you're covering it, it's just red going over red, so it just makes it like, if you miss bits, or if bits come off, sort of thing, if you know what I mean, you water down too much, then it just looks like you're leaving recess shading for the deeper red, which is perfectly fine. So, being the 30th of October, tonight's Halloween. Oh, it's weird. I've got a Halloween costume. I have no intentions of going out and doing anything. I got invited to a Halloween party years ago and I never actually went. But I do have a costume. And I'm hoping to be up here all evening, so I won't have to answer the door to trick-or-treaters. And I don't really agree with it anyway, so I mean I think I went trick-or-treating once as a kid, but no, I wouldn't let my kids go trick-or-treating. So that's the number 5 done. I'm going to go on to the Ancient now. So the Ancient's basically just a Primera Space Marine with a big standard bearer, a standard banner. Battle standard, that's the word. But he basically provides he's got a little bubble aura, which when you have a Space Marine die next to him, there's a chance that the Space Marine will get to either attack or shoot before he actually dies. So he's quite useful. And again, this guy has had his bolter drilled out, so his barrel is got a nice hole in it, so it looks like it's a proper barrel rather than just a bit of plastic. And it's only something I've started doing of late with the bolter barrels, drilling them out and stuff. It's going back to my old third company of Blood Angels, none of them have bolter barrels drilled out, and it looks fine to me, but other people were like pointing it out all the time. I don't care. My army is my army. I paint it how I like. Again, this is just a rough coat because it's just it's almost like a second base coat rather than being a layer. It's just the Mephiston Red was down as a primer almost, and then the Eagle Sun Scarlet is like the base coat. So again, being fairly rough with it. I'm not being too neat, just making sure I've got proper coverage on it, then it'll be fine, which I have. That's that guy done. He can go back up there. I'm going to go to captaining Gravis Armour now. Now this is something I wish that Games Workshop would do. Right, now they seem to be releasing lieutenant models for Space Marines all the time. I don't know why. They need to go back and do a captain in power in a Primaris captain. I know they did one a little while ago, but since then they've released lieutenants all over the place. And I know lieutenant models get used quite often. I mean, I've used them myself, but generally I would prefer a captain over a lieutenant. They give you different buffs and stuff, and for me, rerolling to hit is pretty good. Yeah, rerolling to wound is good as well, but you've got to hit first, right? So yeah, I can understand why the lieutenants are around, but they need to just shake it up a bit. Don't do a lieutenant every time. Every time there's a store birthday or something like that, it's a new lieutenant model. It's like, okay. Painting this helmet. See, because this guy's Blood Angels, he probably should be in gold armour, being a captain and all that. but I'm not going to. Bloody smoke alarms. Our neighbours set that smoke alarm off every single day. He's got big flowing cape as well, which is going to get probably a layer of black. Well, I might do it purple, I don't know yet. I quite like the look of purple capes on a Blood Angel. But we'll see. With these guys, I've not really planned anything out. I mean, I'm just painting them as generic Space Marines. So I don't know what squad markings they're going to get. I don't know what... I know what company they're for. They're for my third company. But they're going to stand out a little bit because of the different paint job. But it should be fine. Right, so that's all the Space Marines we've done with Evil Sun Scarlet now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on using this brush. But I'm going to start painting these blue guys, my Malifaux crew. And what we're going to go back to is the Caldor Sky base coat that they've got. Because like I said, I can't remember what stage I got up to with them. They're basically like big things made out of ice. So what I'm going to do is put the Blood Angels up here while they're drying. They're probably all dry by now anyway, but anyway. I might get my Caldor Sky. Now I like this blue. It's a very, it's a deep blue, but it's not like a flat deep blue. It's almost like a watery blue. Well, you'll see in a minute, I'm sure. There we go. Let me get some of this onto my palette, and this doesn't need to be a thick coat, so I can water it down quite a lot. Because like I said, it's already painted. This is just re-establishing the base coat. Let's get that bit out of there. So I want to have it watered down quite a lot. So to there. And like I said, I want to be painting again tomorrow as well. I've got my sister and my nieces coming over for a little bit, and my nan, so I won't get a lot of painting done early on, and then tomorrow is my last day off before I go back to work, so wishing my life away already, but you know. So let's start with his legs, just basically re-establishing this base coat. Now when I was painting the Space Wolf commission I did more or less last year, I did a kind of icy cracking colours on the lightning claws. That's what I'm going to basically go for on this, which is why I need to re-establish the base coat, because I've done it wrong, I think. So basically all I'm doing is, this is going to get an all over coat of blue, much like I've done with the Space Marines, just to bring it all back up to the same level it was at again, so I can restart. And then basically what these are going to do, I'm going to have some snow flock, and they're going to get based, and we may even have a little bit of snow actually on them. This blue is basically going to be worked all the way up to white, so it looks like they're actually made out of shining ice, because they are. Now Malifaux is a game that I'm probably never going to get around to playing again. I've played it a few times. It kind of confused me a little bit, but I got the basics. It's not your normal war game. It's played with cards rather than dice. You have a fate deck. So, and it's like a proper card deck. Like you have kings, queens, jacks, aces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and jokers, I believe. And it has been quite a long time since I've played, so I'd be basically starting again as a noob. That's all the kids say. But it's a nice game. Don't get me wrong, but it's got its flaws. Like, I didn't realise my caster, who's Rasputina, her name is really powerful, and basically she can cast her spells from any of her minions who have got line of sight. So she can basically hide and just cast through her minions. So it's quite nasty. And that, I believe it's just gone through an edition change as well, so it may have shaken things up a lot. But I'll have to see once I get a new rule book and stuff. But Malifaux is it's not your typical fantasy game. It's a lot darker and weirder than that. I mean, you don't have orcs and stuff. You've got goblins in it, but there's no orcs. You have demons, and you have basically, like, it's just a weird collection of different races and stuff. Like, you can have goblins riding chickens, which is totally ridiculous, but also very, very funny to see. Nearly finished with the Caldor Sky on this guy, which practically used up what I had in the palette. That's fine. And I think just basically what I'm going to do for the rest of this, I've got about another 10 minutes of this video I think, is just do the base coats again on the other three ice gammon. Rasputina is going to be a bit different. She's not going to be painted in blues. She's going to be painted in greys. So that's that guy done. Because she's almost like she's in a pose where she's holding her collar up to her neck, almost like she's freezing, which she is. She's a woman out in the cold, so you know. Get a bit more of this Caldor Sky. Just put it on the palette. Now these ice gammon are really small models. To be fair, I should have completed these a long time ago. That one is practically finished, but again, he didn't come out the way I wanted, so I'm going to actually I'm not going to redo him. He's quite good. These two aren't. So these guys actually just had a Caldor Sky layer and then a shade. So and even their weapons are made out of ice. They've got like ice picks or something like that. I have a little bit more of to add to this crew. Now models I got bought for Christmas last year, I think. My sister bought them. It was one of the things I had on Amazon, and she looked on my wish list and just got them. She had no idea what they were. And they're the I've forgotten what they're called now. The Acolytes, the December Acolytes, I think they are. They're basically guys with bows, so they're not like these minions with made out of ice and whatever. They're normal guys with bows, and they're almost like archer assassins. I'll get around to building them at some point. Just like I'll get around to painting these at some point. So Yeah. Okay, so that's the ice gamming done. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to reapply a black undercoat to Rasputina, and that's going to be me more or less done for today. Done for my video anyway. I keep painting while the video uploads, and I can stick some music on and annoy people with my loud rock music again. So you may have noticed that I've actually started putting some music to my intro. I had a look around as to what sort of music I could use, and to be fair, YouTube is very limiting to what you could actually use as music wise. See, I would have used music from one of my favourite bands, or a bridge probably, but apparently copyright doesn't let you do that, so I had to look at their list of free music that you're allowed, and I found that one I kind of liked, so yep, I left it at that. I'm not doing too bad today for the amount of paint I've put on models. So I've been going just over 50 minutes or so, and yeah, I've started a few things, which is good. So Rasputina, like I said, she's just holding her collar up because she's kind of cold, and I base coated her coat in grey a little while ago. A long time ago actually, probably about a year ago. All I'm doing now is just re-undercoating it, just applying black over it. I'm not too sure how I'm going to paint her. I said before she's painted in greys and stuff, but I do want her to stand out. I may give her a grey white coat, but we'll see. That's her re-undercoated. I know her base is still blue, but that's fine. Okay. Right, so I think I'm going to call it there for today. I'm going to start uploading this and then carry on painting. Thank you very much if you have listened to my rambling as usual. I know one or two people do, but not a lot. It's fine. I'm hoping to be doing some work on my Reaver Titan in the next few hours as well, but I can't guarantee that because I might get engrossed in painting, so I may convert that into a hobby blog, so like each day I just do a little video as to what I've done in that day hobby wise, whether it's build some stuff or paint some stuff or clip stuff off spewers or whatever, who knows. But again, thank you very much for listening. I will catch you again same time next week. See you soon. Bye bye.